Okay. Do do boo do 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 do.
That was pretty good. Yeah,
All right.
we're live. Welcome to Hit or Miss, everyone. I'm Night Strike. My panelists tonight are Dano.
Present and accounted for.
Awesome. Sean Ponery.
Good evening, everybody.
My co-pilot Smeggy.
Reporting for duty.
Oh, you're taking my shit now. I see how it is.
Yeah, I'm a plagiarist. What can I say?
And then we got Wendy.
Hey, how's it going?
Awesome. All right, so tonight I wanted to broach the topic just real quick before we go into the gun stuff about, tonight's Super Tuesday because, well, it's another Super Tuesday because there's like 4 or 5 states, right? So.
Yep.
Well, good. I hope I don't crash my car falling asleep listening to this political shit.
We're not going to talk about each candidate. We're just going to say who won what right now, and it's looking like Trump won all 5. Not kidding.
Well,
that's the numbers I got.
Really?
Yeah.
That's certainly great for Trump.
Well, Maryland hasn't reported in yet.
Yeah, but so far,
Pennsylvania's only got 4%. Rhode Island's got 53 in. Delaware's got 99. He definitely won Delaware, and he's pretty sure he won Connecticut.
I got something to say about the Super Tuesdays and all these different primaries and shit.
well, go for
When
it.
will ABC stop interrupting Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. with the fucking results of the primaries? Like, I don't care that much. If I cared, I would turn on the news and look at it. Why are you interrupting a TV show to say, oh, so-and-so won this state? I don't care. Shut up.
Somebody's having a Haley Atwell deficiency.
No, we're having a no Shield versus Hydra deficiency.
Well, I was just watching S.H.I.E.L.D. earlier today, the recording from last week, and they interrupted to say so-and-so won or whatever, and I was just pissed. I'm sorry, I'm in a bad mood tonight, so I don't mean to rain on everyone's parade.
Was fast forward not available?
No, it interrupted the middle of the show. Like, breaking news, here are the results of the primaries. That's not breaking news. Shut up, I don't care.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I haven't heard anything from the Democratic side. It's just strictly the Republican side. They're saying Trump basically won it all. It might change when they tally all the rest of them.
Yeah, the margins will change, but it looks like he's going to win all of them.
Yeah. Which, I'm sure we'll hear more about this in depth from Never Enough Ammo tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. But
I'll be there with bells on.
Yeah, well, it looks like he's at 927, and there's 651 to go for available delegates. So
He needs
I don't know.
54% of all the remaining delegates, but it looks like he'll get
Yeah, I kind of hope he does, just so it's done and over with. I'm really tired of hearing it.
But let me pose a question, if I may. May I?
go for it.
Okay. What if we get to the convention? He has the magic number, whether it's the number evenly or the number by an additional 10%. And first vote, he doesn't get it.
If he gets the number before the convention, there won't be a convention. He's won.
But some states allow their delegates to vote for someone other than who.
Not in the first round.
Not in the
Everyone
first
has to
round.
vote the first round. If there's not a winner, then it goes to, all bets are
They'll
off.
be unbound by the second. But on the first ballot, the bound delegates have to vote by the will of the people who voted for the delegates. But as of the convention, even in the first round, there are 150 unbound delegates. But they're not counted in the statistics of who's going to win in the first round anyway.
Okay.
Didn't mean to crush that, but
No, I had a second question. I was trying to remember what it was, and I forgot what it was.
Well,
does it
Well,
fall
hold
along the
on.
lines of is Hillary a cunt?
Maybe we'll come back to it.
We'll be back for that.
Part of me wants to see him just win it and be done with it, but another little part of me wants to see the circus continue onto the convention, because I kind of want to see what they're going to end up pulling out of their butts to justify whatever decision they end up making.
Now you're referring to the establishment that might bring in a complete, outsider to, I guess, leapfrog over the leaders.
Yeah, or some crazy thing like that. Like, part of me wants to see where this is going to shake out at, because it kind of exposes, how messed up the system is.
This is exciting for that exact reason, because every election for the last 5, I guess I would say, most millennials are becoming aware, and the last 5 elections, you can see that there is a shift in awareness for the system and a dislike and disdain for the system as it stands. So, every election I keep getting excited with the idea that eventually we're going to get smart enough to say, we don't have to have these 2 parties, and we don't have to have this corrupt system. We have a method in our founding, everything that says we don't have to settle for this. We can flip the table over and we can rewrite all the rules.
Speaking of the disdain, and now I remember my second question, and it goes right to Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
If the populace, as an example, we all know that the populace of Colorado's vote, their votes was completely ignored by the state party.
Not necessarily. So you got to remember, the people of Colorado are upset about a convention system that has been in place in their state since 1904. If they wanted to change it, they should have learned the rules before their convention came up and changed them. But they didn't. And now they're feigning ignorance, and now they're complaining about it.
Okay.
They can complain all they want now, and that'll motivate them to change it for the next election, which is in their right, and they should.
I realize that they may not have been aware of it till now, but and correct me if I'm wrong, and I do mean please do correct me, but it's my understanding that this is the first time that that this has actually occurred since that change was made.
No, this happens every single time. The only difference between the ones before and the ones now is there's 2 insurgent candidates, and they're very controversial. So there are more voters. I think they had 3 times more voter turnout in Colorado than they did ever.
There's no category called insurgent.
Well, there is no technical Republican candidate right now. You literally have insurgent candidates who took over the party.
What do you mean by insurgent? I mean, it's like you're creating a category that doesn't technically exist.
It is. I mean, okay, look at Trump and look at Cruz, and then look at your typical Republican establishment type of person who ran. All the people who got eliminated.
Okay.
They're nothing like the party demographic.
Okay.
And you have Trump, a businessman, and you have Cruz, a political table flipper. And what they essentially done is they were like, in the beginning, because in the beginning they had a bromance. You know that Cruz and Trump didn't attack each other, because I think Cruz actually believed that he didn't have to attack Trump because he thought he would either lose interest or he would collapse, long before this time now. So he didn't put a lot of effort into attacking Trump. But what they essentially have done is they have corporately taken over the establishment. They are the leaders of the party that they don't actually believe in. But they know that they had to be in one of the 2 parties because America doesn't vote third party.
Okay.
That's why they're called insurgents, because they have taken it over.
Every candidate in one form or another is going to be different from another candidate. Otherwise, there would be no difference. Granted,
True.
They are different, and maybe, and according to some people, very different. But they're still Republicans.
No. See, that's the thing.
To be a Republican, you only have to declare yourself Republican.
Right, but see, the thing is Cruz is the furthest thing from a Republican you can imagine. He's been my state senator, so I've seen this longer than most people nationwide. But the thing is his idea was to go to Congress or to go to the Senate and to flip over the table and literally call out everybody. That's why he's not liked by his own constituents in the Senate. because he calls them out. He calls out the corruption. He calls it the Washington cartel because he does not like the system. So what he thought he would do is, I will run in this party and I will redefine it in my image and try to weed out all the corruption. It's an admirable thing, but the problem is he doesn't have a huge following yet because he's the first.
And the problem is with that, the longer you stay in a corrupt party, the more corrupt you become.
That's the thing. You see, they say that. The thing is they talk about progressivism like this too, and they say while it's a good ideology and a great concept, the longer that someone stays in a position of power, the more likely they are to become corrupt by that power. But that's a thing. That's a human. That boils down to the individual. Will they become corrupt, or are they enough high enough moral fiber and character to do what they set out to do and nothing more than that? I mean,
Right.
historically, yeah, most of them have become corrupt. It's hard to argue against it. But I believe that there are people that can do that job without trying to screw the system or become rich off of it.
Okay, so I want to move on from this. I don't want to talk about the whole parties and how corrupt our system is. I want to ignore it tonight. So just let me have that one. I do want to mention that I did got a notification that apparently Clinton won 3 states. One of them being Pennsylvania and 2 others. So, joy.
Okay, she lost Connecticut. She won Delaware. She won Maryland. She won Pennsylvania, and she lost Rhode Island. So yeah, Delaware, Maryland, and Pennsylvania.
No.
So is it Pennsylvania now?
But these are early results. I mean, these are only like 20 to 50% reporting in, but it looks that way.
It looks that way. It could be different tomorrow. You don't know, but probably not.
Right, the margins will definitely tighten up. Like
And
right
those
now,
are
the
the larger
Connecticut one,
states.
it's only 2% off.
All right, but now that we got Heavy B here, what's up, Heavy B?
Not a thing but a chicken wing on a string.
I do want to talk to you because I did want to broach this topic. We were giving California shit on Tuesday, and then the very next day, Gunmageddon happened in California.
Ah, yes.
Gunmageddon?
Gunmageddon.
Elaborate. I've been hiding in the foxhole for a while.
Who knew you were from World War One?
Hey, they work. It's a useful item of cover.
I wouldn't say useful.
There's still issues in trenching tools.
I got one.
I got one.
I've got several, but that's neither here nor there.
Cool. So okay, what's up with Gunmageddon? For me, and other people out there?
Let me pull it up. Apparently, they were really trying to fuck you over.
Oh, of course.
I mean, even more so than more so than you expect from California.
No, I expect California to try and take all the guns. So yeah, anything.
Oh man, where was it? It was. I had the link. What the hell? I didn't read it because it's California and I'm not in California, so it wasn't really relevant to me. I just saw Gunmageddon in California. Just like, wow. Boy.
Well, I know they're trying to pass that stupid rule where they get rid of the bullet button and pretty much ban all semi-automatic rifles and things like that. But I haven't heard it gaining any traction. Doesn't mean it's not.
You know what would be an interesting idea? What if like there was a magazine that had a door on the side, so the magazine was permanently affixed to the rifle, but then you just like flip the thing open and put all the bullets in at once or something? I don't know how it would work, but like would that count as a detachable magazine, or that would count as being permanently attached? So
Well, if it's permanently affixed, you could technically put hinges on it and have it like pull down and open to the side, and then use speed loaders to load it that way. But yeah, I don't think it's going to happen.
All Here it is. Apparently, in the wake of terrorist attacks in San Bernardino last December, Californians have been buying guns at a record-breaking pace. But what are the lawmakers in the Golden State doing? Pushing a package of 10 gun control bills that gun owners in the state are calling Gunmageddon. Gunmageddon is definitely coming to pass, said Craig DeLuz of the Firearms Policy Coalition. This was on, April 19th. 8 of 10 bills in the Gunmageddon package were approved in California. One of the bills voted through the state Senate Public Safety Committee was SB 880. If passed into law, the bill would ban sales of semi-automatic centerfire rifles with magazine release, bullet button, and any Californian who owns one would be required to register them as assault rifles with the state. What else? They're just commenting on it, but there's another bill, SB 1446. The bill would make it illegal to own high-capacity magazines, defined as 10 rounds or more at a time.
You know what California needs to do, or gun manufacturers need to do, is they need to pull the same thing Barrett did, but actually stick with it and say, look, you want to have your gun laws, we can respect that, but don't ask us to supply anything for any of your military or any of your police or any of your border patrol, because if you want to arm your if you won't arm your citizenry, then we're not going to arm your military.
Exactly. You
Now,
please
the problem
just
with that
see how
is there's
fast-
no way in hell-
You watch
There's
how
no
fast that
way
state
to
turns
block-
red.
There's no way in hell Glock, SIG, or H&K would do that.
Well, see, we've been saying this here in Texas for the longest time. When you have these anti-gun movements in states where, say, like Ruger or Smith & Wesson or just about anybody is, come to Texas. We will gladly have your manufacturing facilities here. We don't have state income tax. We will take you, and you can have your tax break for rebuilding your factories here, and you can actually be in a free state.
The sad part of the whole thing is that in California there are millions of gun owners that just hate the laws, and it's those few counties, you know, Placer County near Sacramento and San Francisco area, and then
LA.
you know down in the that controls so much landmass that cover, you know, so many millions of people live there. I lived in California for 4 months in 2013. I worked out there, and I really thought hard about moving there because I really liked the people I worked with, but the gun laws was one of the main driving factors between me taking a job there full time versus going back to where I was at the time, which was in Utah. And it was just apples and oranges. It wasn't even a choice.
I think
I mean,
Utah
they're-
was the better choice.
Yeah.
What's really scary
well,
to me is California is literally the antithesis of Texas. Right now, you have California, a blue state with ridiculous laws, and there are lots and lots of disenfranchised, you know, Second Amendment-minded red people, you know, red-minded people. In Texas, we have all the gun freedom we want. We're a red state, but we're bleeding purple and blue in our state capital and our major city.
Technically,
California.
you're not as gun friendly as you think, because I'll be honest, my home state, the state the G-Webs lives in, is
Arizona.
more gun friendly than Texas is. Just
Well,
saying.
in comparison to California, to be fair. And we have a
Okay,
governor right
okay.
now who's doing open carry as a social experiment to push constitutional carry in a couple of years. So, I mean, it's getting there.
Colorado,
I just had to point that out. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I mean,
Well,
I get that you have a
Colorado's-
constitutional carry state, so it's very, very lax compared to us.
If a Canadian like Bob can come down from Canada and carry out here in Arizona, then yeah, it's a much more friendly state. I personally have given up on California. I'm just waiting until the election occurs to make my final move. And then once I do, I will move to a state that, one, I know is going to be gun friendly, and two, will most likely ignore Hitler if she gets into office and tries to fuck everything up.
Heavy
we'll see
B,
you
that
soon,
state is Arizona. Go to Arizona. It's right next to California. You don't have to drive that far. Go there.
That's a good thing. Yes. I just have to.
Don't go to Nevada. While they say they are, the issue is that they've had their own problems.
Well, Nevada's a really cool state as long as you don't like the landscape. There's, nothing in Nevada. But then again, that's a good reason to go there.
Well, there's nothing in Nevada other than gamblers and hookers.
Well, they do have prisons along the interstate that you can stop by and visit.
Oh, I forgot. They also have Area 51 there. There you go. That's Nevada in a nutshell.
All right. That's just kind of mean there, Night Strike. I mean, pick on California. I can't believe I'm telling you to do this just so I can tell you to stop later. Pick on California, but Nevada is still a fairly free state. So,
I know. I'm just giving them shit for, the whole Las Vegas thing.
Because they got, like, the party palace of the United States there.
Right.
Not that I'm down for that, but, I mean, a lot of people go there just to party, so...
Well, I've never been able to go to Las Vegas, so maybe I'm just, jealous.
Why you jelly?
I don't know. I just am.
But
anyway.
Colorado's another state that the demographics in the last 10 years have changed dramatically. Like, if you go there, I mean, didn't they push through a magazine ban and then a shotgun capacity ban also in the last 10 years?
Not last 10 years, more like the last 4 or 5, wasn't it?
Yeah, or something like that. But that state, my older brother lived there in the early 2000s, and I've gone back there for work, and that state's dramatically changed in its demographics. Like, the Front Range of that state is a circus. That's the best way to describe it. So that's kind of the new California in the western states.
Yeah, it's leaning that way, and then there's always if you want a state worse than California or Colorado, it's in New England. It's called
Illinois.
No, Illinois is not as bad. It's called New York.
Ooh, that's like two sides of one coin.
Or if you ask Robbie will tell you it's New Jersey.
Yeah, and you can include Massachusetts in there as well. I mean, there's several states in the Northeast.
Yeah.
Illinois is bad, I'll give you that, because they kind of because of their laws hinder any shooting sports whatsoever, like target shooting, all of that because of their laws.
Well,
Illinois is a not a great state either, but I'll give them this: they still have more freedom than California.
I would say we have a lot more freedom than traditional gun states. Let's say, like, I believe Tennessee. We have shall issue. We don't have may issue. And that makes it
Tennessee was constitutional carry.
Another bonus of Illinois is there's a lot of gun manufacturers in Illinois. There's Springfield, there's, I think, Rock River, there's
But isn't
quite a
that
few.
weird? States with gun manufacturers seem to have the strictest laws and things. It's almost like Tennessee and having Jack Daniels in a dry county.
Hold on, I want to address Dano's comment about Tennessee. Yes, they have may issue, but here's the thing: you can open carry without a license.
That's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
So whether or not they may issue a concealed carry permit, okay, but that doesn't take away the fact that they're an open carry state where you don't need a permit to carry a gun around anyways.
It's
I
practically
thought
constitutional
Tennessee
carry.
was constitutional carry, yeah.
Well, you have to have a license to conceal, I think, over there.
Yeah, and the license to conceal, but you can open carry.
It's not constitutional carry then.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
And
But
you're also
it's open
less
carry though.
likely to get shot if you're not deemed to be a threat.
Right.
Which is why some people don't open carry.
But I do like hearing every time that Yankee goes and open carries in Washington that they always kick him out of whatever establishment it is. I had to mention that. I find it hilarious.
It's funny because you're thinking it's funny because it happened to him, but the bigger message and the bigger problem is somebody who carries is being disenfranchised.
Oh,
by
I
public
realize that.
policy.
I just find it hilarious that it happens.
Are we
to
going
him.
to talk about the Target bathroom thing today?
Do you want to?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh
let's
yeah.
not.
Oh yeah.
Come on, let's talk about it.
All right. Well, but keep it short, John.
It
Keep
will
short.
be. It will be. I have a very interesting perspective on this. You see, talking to Matt, he put out this video recently about how the gun community and the gay community should be working together because they're both fighting for the same thing. You know, they both feel like they're being dealt a social injustice, right? And I'd like to think it's because he and I talk about that a lot. But if you look at this Target thing, right, it's sort of the same kind of argument. They've got people fighting over which bathroom you can go to. And to be perfectly honest, I really don't give a shit if a man in a dress goes into the woman's bathroom. But,
Well, okay, now hold on a second.
wait. This is important here. The thing is if there's a man open carrying standing in front of that door and stops that man in the dress and says, "You can wait until my daughter comes out," I would not argue with him because he's exercising his right to protect his own.
But you're assuming there's an imminent threat.
Well, no. See, like my friend Darren was saying the same thing because he's got a daughter, and he's like, "Well, fine, you know, I'm gonna start checking all the girls' bathrooms before I let my daughter in there because he's afraid something might happen to her."
Sure.
So, I mean, where does it draw the line? I mean, what's wrong with having guys and girls' bathrooms? I mean, if you're a guy, okay, granted, if you're transgender, you don't look like a guy, but I mean, that's the price to pay. That's your choice you made. You still got the equipment. You should use the right facility.
Sure. The thing is it's not the actual transgender people that are the problem. It's the ones who pose as transgender people that aren't, who are just trying to do nefarious acts. And those are the ones that
But
stories
how many
have
of
been
those
written
people
about
do you think
day after
actually
day
exist?
after this all broke.
Hey, Sean, how many people like that do you think actually exist? I mean,
I've
I
seen
think
like
we're
5 or
talking
6
about
stories a day on it now.
You mean pedophiles?
It's people, you know, taking pictures or spying or whatever. It's happening.
Oh,
Like they're getting called out for it now.
oh yeah. The more
I guess I just haven't seen that. I don't think it's that big of a problem.
I don't really either. It's just, you know, if you're going to deny one social group their rights, or you're going to give that one social group their rights, then you damn well better let the other group, who actually has a constitutional protection, to exercise their rights. Because I think it's kind of screwed up that a company can dictate what policies and rights that you should be allowed to have just because it's in their establishment.
the
Well,
difference.
see, that's where it comes out. That'd be like somebody walking into your house and then telling you what to do in your house.
Exactly.
It's
It's a
what you're
private
suggesting.
property issue.
It's private property. They can do what they want.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's a
go ahead.
private property issue, which is also guarded in the Constitution. You have private property rights that don't exist in public property.
Right, but it's public, which means the public can access it, which means when they dictate their store policies, they're trying to
It's
tell
their
the
choice
public
to
what they
make it
can and
public.
cannot do.
Once you step inside of a store, you're a guest of that store.
But that store is open to the, quote, public.
Well, they could
But
always
it's
go like
pub- it's
Costco and make
privately
people have a
owned.
membership.
Just because people can walk inside does not mean it's not privately owned. It just means it's open for people to come
Well,
inside.
in the case of Target, it's not privately owned; it's corporately owned.
Well, they would argue it's privately owned. But anyways, we've already talked about this. Let's let this one die. I don't want to get into it too much. Let's just leave it that, you know, there should be pro-choice and that's it.
I'm
Pro-choice.
just saying that if somebody decides that they want to protect their kid from
And
somebody
I mean pro-choice is in the
there.
fact that everybody's able to choose whatever the hell they want. Okay, that's what I mean by that statement. So don't misinterpret it for anything else. All right, what else were we going to talk about? Wendy, you remember
Yeah,
what we
here
were talking?
there's these things that like shoot projectiles out because they burn like gunpowder or something. I don't know what they're called.
It's
Maybe
not
we should talk
gunpowder.
about those for a little
It's
bit.
it's black powder. You know, it's what do they call it? Saltpeter.
We could talk black powder if you wanted to.
I don't want to talk about black powder in particular, but why don't we talk about some guns? Anybody got a gun topic they want to talk about?
Black powder matters.
Hashtag black powder matters. Come on, guys, don't leave me hanging like that.
That's your own civil rights movement, bro.
Hey, we were going strong on another topic, and you chopped us off.
I know. You wouldn't let me talk about people open carrying at Target.
Well,
He
I have a
cannonballed
dream.
us.
I have a dream that one day all men and women can carry guns freely, openly, without being harassed. And that's it. That's all I got. There is something else I wanted to talk about, so
Get to it.
I gotta pull up the page. Hold on.
We're having such a good Target discussion.
Do you really want to continue the Target discussion?
I
Not
just
really.
don't like when people can pick and choose civil rights. I think that's kind of asinine.
No.
Especially when both sides are fighting for their right to exist.
It happens.
Well,
to every
what about this? What about this? You have people come into your house, and they start doing whatever the hell they want, and then you say, "Hey, you can't do that," and then the
Right, but my
government
house
steps in and
is
says,
open
"Hey,
to the public.
you're not allowed to do that."
My
You
house is
can't
not
tell them
open
what
to
to
the
do.
public.
All right, if you guys want to continue this topic, we will. But
Well, while you're
Be
finding
good.
your link,
I'm trying to find it and I'm failing. So
Well,
continue
we're-
with it. I mean, unless Smeggy has something he wants to bring up.
Smeggy's
Okay.
being
Well,
quiet.
I did have a topic I wanted to talk about, but I was hoping to talk about it with G-Web, so maybe I'll save it for a night when he's around. He had brought up the idea of, gun stores. I know a lot of people have been following his little tour with Bob. They went to a bunch of different gun stores, but
His little
like I said, I
tour.
kind of want to talk about it with his perspective about, what can we do to keep individual private stores in business, and what that kind
compared
of
to
stuff.
like big box places.
Well, yeah, like the individual kind of small gun stores versus the big box stores of the day and age, because they seem to be kind of taken over.
Sure.
Or the people that buy stuff on the internet for $5 cheaper and have it shipped to the people, like.
That's the thing. See, I support my local, and he charges definitely more than where I can buy it elsewhere. But because it's a local, and he's been an establishment in my neighborhood for longer than I've lived in my neighborhood for over 35 years, I'm hard pressed not to support him. He's been here. He's been a contributor to the community. When people were down on their luck, he's volunteered his time, and he's held drives for raising money for other good causes. So, when you have a pillar of a community like that who has a business like that, yeah, okay, I'll spend the extra $20-$30 for, Glock mags or Glock parts or whatever. I'll just spend whatever extra I have to. It's usually like 10 to 15% more.
Right. Well, and that was part of my thing where I don't know if I kind of disagree in a way. Yes, I like to support local shops, but the way I look at it on some of them, the way that they treat their customers, you got guys that think that they're just so much better than everybody else. And then also if they're like way above market value on stuff. It's one thing to save a little bit of money, but if it's like way out of line, yes, I'd like to help you, but your poor business plan is not my fault. So if you're going out of business because you suck at business, that's not my fault, and I don't feel bad for not shopping there.
See, I think it's all about perspective of the experience you have in the shop, though. Like you were saying, if you walk in and they're all arrogant assholes, obviously you don't want to support a place like that. But if you walk into a place where there's 4 generations of the family working there, and you got this old woman in a rocking chair petting her dog, waving and saying hi to everybody as you walk in the door, like my place, I'll spend that extra 10 to 15% because I know for a fact, because he's a smaller place, he can't compete with the big box stores just off of sheer volume purchase. So that's why his markups are not quite as low as everyone else's, because while say a Gander Mountain can buy 100 629 competitors, he might be only able to buy 4. So he has to charge a little bit more because he can't buy them for the same cut that, say, a Gander Mountain could.
All right, I found one of the things I wanted to talk about relating to guns. I just wanted to broach this topic. You guys remember the whole thing with Hurricane Katrina, and they went and confiscated people's guns illegally, right? You heard about that?
Louisiana?
Yeah, in Louisiana during Hurricane Katrina. They went and confiscated people's guns and destroyed them in front of them. I don't know if people realize that's what happened. That's what happened when they declared martial law.
Who were they, though? Did the National Guard do that, or did the local police do that?
It was the New Orleans Police Department that did that. I also heard that some of the National Guard did that too.
Now, was this a response into mass riots and looting?
I don't know. I guess it was just to get people to leave their houses. But either way, I wanted to mention this just as a precursor because apparently the New Orleans Police Department has now proposed a city ordinance that all residents must report guns lost or stolen within 48 hours of it happening.
Some people don't know their weapons are lost or stolen for longer than 48 hours.
Yeah, and that means that they're going to, I guess, punish those who don't report it within 48 hours.
I mean, especially in New Orleans, because that's like the offloading ramp for Gulf Coast oil rig workers, so those guys might not come back on shore for 7 to 8 weeks. And then they find out, oh shit, my gun's missing from my locker on shore.
Yeah, or what about the fact people just go on vacation?
Right.
Yeah. I mean, just people going on vacation. People generally, when they go on vacation, are gone for a couple of weeks.
Sure.
How that's supposed to
I've talked about those kinds of laws before. It seems like it's a solution to a problem that doesn't really exist. And I did have it explained to me what their thinking is. I guess the idea is you let your buddy use a gun. He's a bad guy or whatever, and he kills someone or using a robbery or whatever, and he ends up getting busted or he dumps it or whatever, and then you report it stolen. If he doesn't get caught, then he just gives it back to you. And I looked into it further. They do that kind of stuff with cars on the border. Someone else will take a car down to Mexico, fill it with drugs or whatever. If they get stopped, that dude's going to jail anyways or getting deported, whatever. But the dude whose car it is will report it stolen right away and be like, oh, I had nothing to do with that, officer. So that's the problem they're trying to solve. I just don't think it's very prominent. Like, I think that doesn't happen very often. And I could be wrong about that, but it just seems stupid. I don't understand punishing the person who got their stuff stolen.
Well, this is our government at work, and they seem to be famous for going after the issues that affect less than 1% of the populace rather than actually dealing with real issues.
And then the fact that it goes and affects everyone.
Well, that's the New Orleans Police Department, that government, and that's one of the most corrupt governments in the South. There's rampant corruption and
I disagree, but that's just me.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by that. So.
But I wanted to put that Katrina thing as a precursor because it happened in New Orleans. So
do you have to report to the police when the police steal your guns? Because of the whole Katrina thing?
I'm saying, can you describe what the person looked like? A lot like you.
Yeah, I remember the one story. There was a guy, it was like 2 guys, and they were on a boat, and they had evacuated. They went back in after the storm hit, but everything was still flooded. They went to their house, they grabbed their guns, and they were getting back out, and they got stopped. And apparently they were told, like, the people were telling the residents, if you left your house, like, don't leave it with guns in there. If you have a safe place to take them to it, take your guns to the safe place. Because all those empty homes are getting broken into like crazy. And so that's what they were doing, and then they got stopped by somebody, I forget what it was, and they ended up they took the guns and they wouldn't give him like a receipt saying what they took and all this stuff. He's like, well, I get these back, right? And they're like, well, yeah, sure, but they had no way of proving like which guns they took. They didn't write down the serial numbers or anything, and the people had to fight to get them back. I think they ended up not getting them. I think the cops destroyed them or something.
Yeah, the last report I saw on that is there were over 600 guns that still were not released back to their owners. Because there was no way for the owners to necessarily prove, because, again, the lack of documentation of when they were taken.
Which is why I say we need to be wary of local government, state government, and the federal government. You know, I'm not saying distrust government entirely, but I'm saying watch them like a hawk.
And that's also why I have in a couple of different safe places a list of all of my guns and their serial numbers. And if I bought them from a store, I have a copy of the receipt from the store. I haven't bought any guns from a private person, but if I do, I would at least, try and write down a little note of when I got it or whatever. So if anything happens, I can at least try and prove, yes, I did in fact own these guns, and these are what the serial numbers are and everything.
There's an old saying that I think it definitely applies here amongst other things, and that's someone knocks on your door and they say, I'm from the government and I'm here to help you.
Go home.
Loosely translated, I'm from the government, turn around, bend over. No loop.
Exactly.
Well, I'm of the Charlton Heston opinion from my cold dead hands.
Well, did you guys see this video? It popped up, I don't know, maybe a few days ago or something. This cop was trying to search a house. They didn't have a search warrant. There happened to be a whole bunch of them, and apparently, like, it was because the people who owned the house, their cousin or their nephew or someone like was kind of in trouble, so they were trying to search the house and see if they were connected to it or whatever. And the lady's like, no, if you don't have a warrant, you can't come in. And apparently they were open carrying in their own house, and I don't know, they said something like that. They said, okay, get out of here, get the fuck off my lawn or something. And the cop goes off, is like, don't fucking swear at me, motherfucker, like goes off, which I always think is funny when you're yelling at someone for swearing and you're swearing as well. That's kind of dumb.
Well, here's the thing. While, yes, they are looking for, a fugitive, but they told them to leave. 2, they wouldn't leave. So, yes, someone's going to get irate because you're on their property. You're bugging them. You're harassing them, technically, because you're looking for a fugitive. While they may or may not be there, you don't know. But unless you have a warrant, as legal, you shouldn't be there in the first place unless you've got a warrant. That's just it.
Right, and that's the whole thing is that, they were expressing their rights. They said, hey, and the cop even said, like, I could get a warrant so fast. And they're like, okay, then go do that. Like, if you can go get a judge to sign a warrant, then you're right. I have no complaint. I might be pissed about it, but I'll let you in. But you don't have one. And then the lady was like, bye. And it just popped into my head, bye, Felicia.
Wow.
Sean, where do you get these things, man?
Oh,
Sean's
just
little
everywhere.
meme figures.
Just everywhere.
It's called Google.
I'm your color commentary.
All right, outstanding. I love these things. Except for the one you said the one time that made me sick.
All right, so Smeggy, since it's still April, tell us when the next 8 April patch giveaway is.
The next 8 April patch giveaway is right now. Oh.
Yay!
So are we going to do that instead of the DPG?
Yeah.
We can do
Well, it is
both
a
or
DPG.
one or the other or whatever. I don't care.
Hold on a second. I just want to jump out, get in the lobby, so you guys can give it to me.
Nice
Because I do not
try.
have an 8 April patch.
We'll make sure you get one anyways.
Well, thank you, sir. How much is it?
I don't know. I'll talk to G-Webs about that.
Yeah, I'm gonna say over in the. Well, actually, do we have a bunch of people on YouTube or no?
I don't know. I never checked the YouTube side. Do you want me to check the YouTube side?
I can open it up.
I don't think we have anyone over there. We only
Oh.
get like 20
Nobody
people
likes
listen.
you, okay.
Yeah, nobody likes me. Actually, no, we do have one person over there.
We have one person over there, okay.
I just saw it right now. I'm just amazed. We got one person over there. Hello,
It
person.
does say 13 people watching.
Yeah, it's a bad number, but oh well.
I must be the 13th. I just opened the window.
All right. Well,
If-
why don't
if
we give it to the gun
I was
channel
just gonna
side?
say, if you're watching on YouTube, you win.
Well, that means everybody wins. We can't do that.
And you want to pronounce that person's name?
Perhaps you should look at my meme again before you can say everybody
Ah,
doesn't win.
Oh, that's me. I'm sorry. I'm like, why is there echo? Oh yeah, that's that was me because I went over to YouTube. Sorry about that. I'm gonna go 89 triple 34 triple 28. You win.
Okay, we'll give it to him. Go to gunchannels.com/DPG. Yeah.
Yay, triple 34, trouble 28.
What is it?
And
89
I feel bad for Doug because I didn't see him, but the other guy said
Yeah.
first. Doug's over in Gun Channels.
8675309.
I got it.
Yeah, Jenny, I've got your number. All right. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about, or do you think we should just call it?
Minefields are
What was the
cheaper
name of
than
that
walls.
Human salsa.
Yeah. See? Minefields are cheaper
Hashtag
than
Mexican Space Program.
See, when he said the Target bathroom thing, I thought it was like paying a Target in the bowl and getting rid of your human salsa.
walls. Oh, it's a very different type of human salsa.
I'm not sure that's even salsa at that point.
Would that be more like guacamole? Human guacamole?
Oh, boy.
I always get a kick out of those boycott numbers, like of that 700,000 that signed the petition. How many of those people are actually not going to shop at Target that were going to go there? You know,
They just buy everything on Amazon anyway.
I go to
Prove me
Target.
wrong.
There's
Yeah,
better
that's
women
the way
looking
to
there
do
than
Wally
Walmart.
World. That's the Wally World Empire and the Target Empire is just to shop on Amazon.
All right. Well, I guess. Yeah. Smeggy already gave me the thing. All right. Well, I guess that's it for tonight.
Oh, you didn't even do a whole hour tonight.
I know. Sometimes we make an hour, sometimes we don't. Problem is, lately I haven't had any good topics to talk about, and that's the problem when you do a show. Sometimes you have topics out the yin yang, and there are some times where your topics aren't even registering. You know.
Some of
All
our
right,
topics kept getting cut off.
Yeah.
I got something right here. We're going to go back to politics, and Hillary is a cunt.
Oh, we did that. We definitely did that.
It never gets old.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
here's
Okay.
something real quick.
All right.
If you guys have ideas for topics, post a comment or something on, I don't know, Nitrick, what's the easiest way to suggest topics? I don't think you have an email or anything set up for this show.
I do, but I forget the name. I forget the email address. So.
Okay, so next week we're going to have an address, and you all can email, and you can have like a Q&A or a topic suggestion. And if it's a really good one, you may just automatically win the DPG for that show.
Bathrooms for
Indeed.
aliens.
Actually, if you go to the hit or miss page and click email, there'll be my email right there. So just go and send it directly there, and then I'll relay it. So go to the hit or miss page on Gun Channels. It should be gunchannels.com/hit or miss.
All right, and then I've got a thing in Gun Channels asking if people have any questions or anything. So
All right. Well, if anybody has any questions that are relevant, please let us know, and we'll try and answer them.
or irrelevant, it doesn't matter. Just questions.
I got something real quick.
Okay.
I forget who said this. Someone said they saw this on the internet somewhere. I know, a real credible source. But anyways, I guess it was a picture of a Taurus judge, and it says, I was born a revolver,
Oh,
but
I said that at
identify
lunch.
as a shotgun.
Yes. Yeah, that lunch lobby.
What was that? I was born a revolver, but what?
Was
I
born a revolver,
identify
but I
as a
identify
shotgun.
as a shotgun.
And I shop at
One of
Target.
you speak at a time, please.
No, let's all speak at once.
Okay, one person at a time. Smecky, go.
Okay. I was born a revolver, but I identify as a shotgun.
Oh, so it's a Transcaliber.
Yes.
Excalibur.
Well played.
Wow.
And I
Nice.
shop at Target.
Yeah, I think you can carry a Taurus Judge into whatever bathroom you want in Target.
Just as long as you're in a state that allows open carry.
Maybe they should just mark the bathrooms off as armed and unarmed.
But in the arena of logic, I fight unarmed.
Yes, you do.
All right, I am gonna call it. You know, unless you guys have anything else. This is last call.
Kill it.
Somebody out there said their AK identifies as a single action revolver.
Well,
that would
works
make
too.
it legal in California.
It's Sean. Of course it would be him.
I asked him to jump in, but the jerk never did.
Did you give him a link?
I thought you did that.
No, I you know, if you want him to jump in and give him a link, you know, but you know,
Well,
if we're
give
gonna,
me a second. I'll give him a link.
all right, fine, I'll give him a link.
So I guess as a closing on that note kind of session thing, did you hear about Caitlyn Jenner's tribute to Prince?
I'm
Oh
afraid
God,
to ask.
what Dano said.
Unfortunate overdose and death. Caitlyn Jenner was asked, you know, what did he think about, you know, what happened and what Prince meant to the music
slipped,
industry.
said he.
And he said, excuse me, I am a man formerly known, or I'm a woman formerly known as a man. I don't know who this Caitlyn guy is you're talking about.
Wow. All right. Hey, Sean, you're finally back from the shop.
Yeah.
Oh boy. I just want to make a note on the record on that note because Tracy mentioned a racetrack in South Carolina where he was talking about this restaurant he went to, and I've never been to this restaurant. I'm not sure I want to, but the issue
Yeah, I
is
don't know if he meant that track. He said a
no.
racetrack.
There's only one
there's no like
racetrack.
small.
There's only
There's
one
no like
racetrack.
small tracks there.
No. In the
Oh,
state
okay.
of South Carolina, the only racetrack there is in South Carolina, is Darlington Raceway. That is the only one.
I know where Darlington is. I just didn't know if there might have been like some, little backwoods tracks. Like we have tracks all over the place here.
No,
But,
there's only one in South Carolina, and that's Darlington, because
Oh,
they
okay.
clamp down on everything else. Which
Well,
is why I say the South Carolina
the same
government.
kind of race in racetrack.
Heavy B, you could have gone all night without that one.
I love to disturb you. It's my job.
That reminds me of something. The racetrack is the only place that you can go, and you can pray and sing the national anthem. Nobody gets pissed off.
And there's only two kinds of bathrooms.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call them bathrooms. They're more like porta potties.
Yeah, actually, that's right. Most of them have porta potties set up all over the place.
The original unisex bathroom.
That's why I wait until I go somewhere for dinner, when I go to the raceway.
Actually, I was looking for it to post it on the show tonight, but I think I have a picture of it at work. It was a giant tree with a bunch of bushes about waist high surrounding it in like a ring, and it said the original unisex bathroom.
Did it have someone lifting their leg up?
No, I mean, you just go to the tree and it's behind the bushes, so no one can see what you're doing back there.
So in the forest, behind a tree, no one can see you pee.
Yeah.
As long as you're not bigger than a tree.
Well, I mean, if
matter
you want to
the
go by
rules are
Target
walking.
logic, right? They tore down 2 stalls in the women's bathroom to install urinals. what they should have done is just take out the urinals in the men's bathroom and just put more toilet bowls, because the toilet bowl is universal for both sexes.
And
Yeah,
private.
but that uses way too much water.
And
Yeah, the seat would be lapped up all the time.
not to mention, don't transgenders identify as women, so wouldn't they want to sit down to go to the bathroom?
I don't know, man. I've seen pictures of Michelle Obama pissing standing up, so.
That's because she's got a bigger dick than Obama.
Because it's Wayne Brady and drag. I've been saying that for 7 years.
All right. FT Ideas just
Patrick
went and mentioned something in the Gun Channel's chat saying, "Why can't I take my long rifles to the indoor range? That is gun discrimination." And I'm going to say right now that is gun discrimination. It's wrong, and we need to stop
the answer to that.
I do too, but I think it's wrong anyways.
It's probably because
Number
they don't want
one,
you poking holes in the back of the ring.
Volume. Number 2, it's because the backstops are not rated for certain calibers.
Yeah. Well, it really depends on where you go, because there are indoor ranges that you can take a rifle, but they're freaking huge.
Yeah, the ones closest to my house are like that.
Yeah, they have to have like hundreds of yards of distance on them, and then the backstops are freaking insane. But usually it's because they don't have the budget to be able to upgrade so that they can do that.
Yeah. All right. Out there on the Gun Channel side, are there any other questions? And on the YouTube side, is there any other questions? I'm doing the last call.
Nope, I think we're good.
Going once, going twice, sold.
Yeah, I think it's about time then.
Is that
We're
like
gonna-
going number 1, going number 2 sold?
I don't want to change it. Somebody think of something. Sean, you're smart. So you think
Did you see what Darren said about
about the Speedway?
About Darlington? It's a short track that identifies as a super speedway. I think that perfectly encompasses Darlington.
It's not actually that small. I've been to Darlington several times. I go there every once in a while.
What's the length of the track?
I don't know. I've never
I don't
measured
know.
it.
It's not even. It's like a little over half a mile, maybe.
It's not a super track.
No, it's not. But it's not. It's one of the biggest short tracks, I think.
Okay.
So it's
there's
okay
no
to
problem.
also track.
In NASCAR, there's like only 2 classifications, and that's they still do a road course, don't they? That one. They used to do a couple of road races where they set them up like Indy and ran them like that. but I
Yeah,
don't think
and
they do
Rob
that
Gordon is fucking amazing at road courses.
Yeah,
And he finishes in like the 30s every other race.
yeah.
That's because doing anything more than left turns is hard.
Yeah, because if he had to do right turns, he would just fail so hard.
No, that's the only way he does good, really, is when he's right.
So you're saying he's the only one that can actually turn right?
Yeah, the rest of them just turn left. That's all you got to do to know how to drive in NASCAR. All you got to do is press the gas and turn left.
Yeah.
I hate carpooling with one of those guys because you go in circles way too much.
You'd be surprised how small the brakes are on NASCARs.
Oh boy. But yeah, just don't
Hit the button, Knight. Just hit the button.
don't make the same mistake I did, and go to a raceway and then sit in the front row, right behind the fence.
Did you get a Darlington stripe?
I wasn't so much as a stripe as I was covered in soot and burnt rubber, but
Yeah.
it was awesome. But on that, I'm going to steal Matt's thunder. On that note, I'm going to call it for tonight. I want to thank my panel for showing up. I know Heavy B's just so angry, but he's a Marine, so he's allowed to be angry.
That's true.
All right, I want to thank Heavy B for showing up.
Thanks for having me.
Dano, thanks for showing up.
Proud to be part of the Brady Bunch.
Oh God, that's no.
There's that story. I'm
No,
a
you
lovely lady.
So
Well, there are 7 guys here.
Hashtag sausage fest.
Sean Carter,
I call
thanks
dibs
for
on
showing up
Marsha.
for like the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, no problem.
Hashtag human salsa and sausage.
Hashtag Mexican Space Program. But Sean Ponery, thanks for showing up.
Appreciate the time. Remember, landmines are cheaper than walls. Stop looking at my hands.
Yeah, no one's looking at your hands. Don't worry about it.
Jalapenos,
Seriously,
agree, but
beautiful hands.
But the one, the only, the co-pilot, Smeggy42, thank you for showing up.
As always.
And then Wendy, thank you for jumping in.
Yeah, no problem. Maybe next time we can cover black powder.
Maybe next time we will cover Black Powder.
I would actually be interested. I don't know much about black powder, and I like learning new things.
I know how to make it.
well,
It's
see, that's
kind of,
the
it's
topic
interesting.
Right there.
Well, we're not doing that tonight. We're going to do that tomorrow. I guess we'll do that next week. We'll talk about black powder and muzzle loaders. So tune in next week for Hit or Miss. So thank you all for listening. This was Hit or Miss.
Bye.